Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Chairman Smith and Ranking Member Neal, and thank you, Commissioner, for agreeing to appear here today. I've been looking forward to discussing the IRS's actions with you for some time. I'm extremely concerned that the IRS has been just a little too focused on following political directions of the Biden administration instead of fulfilling its congressionally mandated duties. The continued delay of the 1099K threshold, an announcement of a new threshold, is an illegal overreach that is not found anywhere in law. Unfortunately, this is just another step in a long string of illegal and questionably legal actions taken by the IRS and the Department of Treasury to either willfully ignore the change or misinterpret the laws that have been passed by Congress. Why was the IRS unable to implement the $600 1099K threshold passed in the American Rescue Act?
I'm really glad I have an opportunity to respond to this question, Congresswoman. I believe the IRS Commissioner has the authority to implement laws in a manner that ensures taxpayer rights. This means that at times, implementation is delayed or ramped up over time in order to make sure that we're achieving that balance, that we're implementing the law that was enacted by Congress, but also abiding by another responsibility we have under the law, and that is to protect taxpayer rights. In this situation, this outcome of delay or ramped implementation was strongly recommended by a diverse set of stakeholders across tax industry, commercial industry. From every direction, we were hearing calls to that there was risk.
Well, I can understand why.
Yeah.
I mean, given the 3-year extended delay, does the IRS believe it will ever be able to comply with this law?
We're working with stakeholders on a path that will get it done, and in particular, that's why we are intending to begin implementation next year. Again, the focus that I have and we have at the IRS is how do we do this in the best interest of taxpayers? We don't want taxpayers overpaying their taxes. We don't want them confused. We don't want them bombarded with forms and paper they shouldn't be receiving. And if we go forward with implementation without being able to adequately protect against that risk, then I'm not meeting my legal responsibility as Commissioner to help taxpayers and to help protect their rights.
Well, in November of 2023, you announced plans for a threshold of $5,000 in 2024. Yes. Who specifically made that decision to set this new threshold?
That was a strong recommendation from the stakeholders we reached out to across a variety of stakeholders, taxpayers, these companies that are third-party payment platforms. The reason why there seemed to be consensus on $5,000 was because if you looked at the analysis and the model, $5,000 would ensure the most revenue would be impacted while also protecting the most taxpayers from unnecessary paperwork and sending them things that they didn't actually need.
Well, I have to reclaim my time because, I mean, what authority does the IRS have to set the new threshold? The authority.
So we have an authority under the code to administer laws consistent with taxpayer rights. And so this happens from time to time. Oh. Our goal and our objective is to implement the laws on day one.
Yes,
there are many.
We write the laws.
Yes,
Congress writes the laws.
But
you don't.
There are a variety of examples throughout history where the IRS, in order to protect taxpayers from undue burden or from potentially being overtaxed, where we have either delayed implementation or ramped implementation. This is not the first time, and I'm not the first commissioner that has confronted this tension.
But they're still illegal. Your actions are still illegal.
It's not illegal to take a step to protect taxpayer rights.
Well, anyway, I'll move on from this. Another concerning action I have that the IRS has taken is the implementation of the so-called free file program. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Nothing is free. Everything the U.S. government does is paid by taxpayer dollars. So nothing is ever free, and I don't think you should be wasting your millions of dollars when the private industry is doing a good job. But I do want to give you credit where credit is due. I commend the IRS for the ERTC claims, for processing them. I understand that the system was devastated by fraud and abuse, which is why the committee and the House recently passed the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act in an overwhelmingly bipartisan manner. And I also want to urge my Senate colleagues to similarly follow suit so that the IRS can focus on credible ERTC claims so that good American small businesses can swiftly access the benefits that have been promised by Congress. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Congresswoman.